Let's talk skin. Let's talk truth. This is Barefaced Chat, and I'm Kelly Sainer. I've spent over 2 decades in aesthetics, seen behind the filters, under the makeup, and beneath the skin. On this podcast, we strip back the noise and get real about beauty, identity, and everything in between. She is the woman who holds it all. We discuss leadership and her view of herself as the ice queen. We discuss Sienna and her being the most phenomenal mother, the woman behind the calm, partnership and support with her wonderful husband Mark, her friendship and us working together, and the holistic woman. Because skin isn't just skin, it's your story, and I'm here for it. I'm Kelly Sainer. Are you ready for some barefaced chat? Disclaimer: the views shared in this episode are personal opinion and are not intended as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making decisions about your skin or health. Louise, thank God I've got you on at last. I am absolutely delighted to have you here because I feel like we've got a massive story to tell about, and I feel like we've got a massive journey that we've been on and that we've got coming forward. Being able to have a podcast and make it come alive is just something that's been, I'd never thought it'd come to fruition, first of all. It was happening through the divorce, I think. So it was like the absolute light of my day, knowing that I could just get to speak to interesting people, even though it was quite upsetting. But that sets the tone really of how the podcast has evolved. So I think Sam will agree that it's like ebbed and flowed and moved into these different areas of people coming in and wanting to join it.
Well, it started before the Barefaced Chat, didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember my first little introduction was on one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think as we did, didn't we start to film the products? Inside the pods for a bit.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of guests that way and we did it that way. So I think this has been a more formal move into, and haven't we done so much from then to now?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, for those of you that are listening that have never met this woman, those of you that are watching, you can see how unbelievably polished and incredible she is. You've got the perfect mix of everything, and I want to introduce you to everybody as I see you.
Okay.
So
interesting.
It's but you will. I think you will. I think you'll. It took me a lot of time to redo and write and want it to sound exactly as we are day to day, because it's dead hard to get that. I don't think you'll ever truly get that on paper, but we'll work through it and I'll try my best.
Okay.
For everybody out there, today's guest is the most wonderful Louise. Full name Louise. Not Louise. I just either wondered
FYI.
FYI. Hi, Louise. You might not always see her at the forefront of the business, but you'll feel her impact in everything that I do. You always allow me to be at the front, to be there.
But I don't like being at the front, that's why.
I know you don't.
I like to be at the back.
I know you do.
Holding things together.
But that's where your comfort is. And that's where you've always said that you sit best. So Louise is my operations director, my right-hand woman, and honestly, the woman who holds everything behind Medica Forte, particularly a little less Renew, but Medica Forte 100%, and allows me to do Renew. You are calm, controlled, unshakable, my friend, my best friend. Oh, shush. I know, yeah, love you. You sometimes call yourself the ice queen, but people don't always see you and the depth that I see, because you're like a wall behind everything. And I couldn't have got where I am today without it. You're emotionally intelligent, your strength, and you've taught me to be more me, which is ironic.
Which is on your side.
Which is on my side. Yeah. Who knew? You lead the team, you go home, you chill, you're a mum to Sienna, wife to Mark, mum to Liam as well. I don't think that people will ever get to experience you until they work with you, understand you, because I get to see all facets of you.
Lucky you.
I know. Yes, it's just living the dream. But they don't get to see what's happening behind the scenes. And we've been through such a lot together, navigating some incredibly challenging times like divorce, accountant difficulties, staff leaving, difficult behaviours, the kind of pressure that just tests us 24/7.
Yeah.
And then we have to go home and deal with being all those different people. From being a patient, working, and then working in the business, you literally you worked in the business and on the business before that you worked in the business. Yeah, unbelievable. And from that day, realised that I'd found a gem and recruited you on the spot near enough.
Yeah.
And then, literally from then and previous to then, I think from then really you became one of my best mates.
Yeah.
And I think that what an honour to be able to work with your best mate. It's mega, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. But we're still professional with it.
Yeah.
And through all of that, you are a steady hand, but you carry behind the scenes, what nobody will realise is that you carry everybody and never allow anybody to feel like they're not worthy of being in their place. You've done that, and I see that with every staff member. You allow them to shine.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you're a goner. Basically. So be warned, anybody that comes in. She holds no prisoners. But you've got a loyalty that I massively respect from you. We laugh every day, sometimes at chaos, sometimes at the opposite. But behind the scenes, you do it with grace, you do it with clarity, you do it with respect. And today we're going to be talking about leadership, boundaries, motherhood, identity, what we've had to deal with, and your take on it from your perspective.
Okay.
So, Louise, welcome to Barefaced Chat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's a big one to say that.
That was a big one.
How did you feel about that? Yeah, it was just the intro, matey.
Yeah, I loved it.
Did you?
Not sure I'll get out.
I don't think you will. You're in it for life now.
No, I meant get out the door.
Oh. Oh, yeah, of course. Had to be too big. Is that what you meant? Oh, sorry. Tell me then, before we get into this, what made you stay when it was really tough?
Which part?
All of it. So, okay, what made you continue on with the job? Because we've spoken loads, and we're going to talk in different things, but I feel like let's just open it with what made you stay when we were in the toughest part of what we were in the trenches? Your determination. Because you always told me that you were I had to see it fucking through.
Yeah. Well, I've got to go back to when I first started. We had a really difficult situation within a week of me starting here.
Very true.
But I said to you, I remember you gave me the option to either come and work as a freelancer or an employee.
Yeah.
And I said, if I'm in it, I'm in it.
Yeah. You did actually.
The whole hog.
Straight away.
We had a really, really difficult challenge, and I'd had a career break to spend time with family. So coming back in, I realised I'm quite stubborn. I don't want to be kind of pushed to the side by anybody. And I also felt I had a duty of care to prove to you what I could do and how I could help. Because I think at the time you were struggling with the situation.
Yeah.
And although it was horrendous at the time, I thought I'm not going to give in.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you just have that
it was a stubbornness, and just I will not be defeated.
Yeah.
You will not break me. Not you.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I've tried.
And fortunately, I've got a really, really good network, because although we knew each other, we didn't know each other
absolutely
like we do now.
No.
So, and I was obviously trying to impress you, new employer, and also be that person in front of the team. And I didn't want to show any kind of weakness.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you know me, I hate showing that.
I know you do.
So I had great support at home, people, giving advice.
Friends and family,
Got through it. Then we started into the next big journey, which was really, really difficult. And I'm going to say went on for well over a year. What would you say?
More, I think you dealt with, we went through we were in fight for probably 7 or 8 months. And then I think before that was another probably 7 or 8 months of navigating.
But also for me, I was having to learn about a whole new industry, skincare, chemical peels.
Yeah.
I was trying to learn that. I had to be there for the customers, give advice and manage all these other difficult situations It was a lot. But I try and look at everything as a bit of a lesson and a learning curve.
You did amazing.
Just take it. I love to learn every day. You know, how much more can I get out of it? How can I shape myself? I've worked in so many different industries, had loads of careers, met amazing people. And I just take every day as it comes. Literally.
Wow.
I might bring it on.
It's so unusual what we've been through. So unusual that when you take stock and think about every little bit, one thing, a lot of people will be like,
crumble.
That was a lot. Yeah.
Never get over it.
That was a
We're
lot.
Like, right, come on.
Yeah, off we go. 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that's testament to both you and I.
Yeah.
I've had nothing but determination and resilience. In fact, it probably made me stronger going through that.
Yeah.
Because I felt unshakable, but at times absolutely on my knees.
Yeah.
But I would never show that. So I think there's a parity there between us.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think people think that's what I'm like.
No.
But, you know, you've sort of said this, but
it doesn't come across. I've seen that side of you, as you have with me.
Yeah.
The other side. But united.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
We stand tall.
We stand
Cheese.
Free the people.
You have to though, and you've got to have a bit of an alliance at work. And when you're a leader, you have to be that strength.
Yeah, definitely.
At the top of the business.
Yeah.
Because even though staff members aren't directly involved in any kind of issue, when you work together the way that we do, it does filter down. It does unsettle people.
It can't not, can it?
It can't not. And you've just got to make sure that you are there as the strength and reassurance for the rest of the team.
100%. But yeah, people need to truly understand like what's bonded us, what's brought us together, how we've managed to, you know, supersede overall odds, really. And we'll get to that a little bit, but let's first talk about you. I want this to be about you because I think you've just led the most fascinating life, and I think we want to get Sienna's story out there as well. I think that what you've experienced, what you've done. When we first met, we were talking about doing a business together. Yeah. Weirdly, that this would happen now, because I wouldn't have forecast or predicted that you'd be in it. No. I was genuinely thinking, oh my God, this woman's amazing. You're doing a vegan business? I'll do it with you. With a children's vegan business.
I'll have a bit of that.
Absolutely. For those that don't know who you are and that are listening, that want to know more about you, because I think this is really interesting for people on the outside that want to understand our business, PRFKT and Medic Forte, and who you are. And people that perhaps know you as acquaintances will be fascinated to know a bit more about you and how you juggle unwaveringly the life that you've got. So explain who you are, first of all, and the different roles that you've got. And then I want to talk about like you as the calm, controlled, capable person in a very in what has been a toxic workplace into a non-toxic workplace into now what we've got. Because I never thought I'd run my business with any level of toxicity at all. So for you to come in and just go, amazing.
You're all gone.
You all got it. It was just brilliant. So first of all, tell me, or tell everybody listening about the role that you do right now.
So my role here. So I'm head of ops for Medic Forte, which is a really exciting job at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's so much to it, isn't there? There's so many different...
It's like, where do you start?
Where do you start?
So basically it's leading the team, making sure that you've got everything you need.
Yeah.
Now it is just solely run by you. It's a lot easier. So making sure the accounts are where they need to be, and that basically everything that you've wanted to do for the last God knows how many years, I can make happen. And that's what drives me. I think because you've had all these ideas for so long and not been able to get to where you want to be, it's just like, well, let's do it.
Does work feel like, is this a role that you had envisaged?
No.
Or not at all?
No.
Where did you think you were going to end up? Because you had your hiatus, didn't you? You worked quite high up in schools and business.
Yeah.
Then obviously Sienna, and then you had some breaks. And
it's different. Well, I did business studies at college, which I didn't love, to be honest. It was just kind of like, what do you do when you leave school? So, well, I'll do business. Yeah. I hated it, actually. To be fair. Whereas when I look back now, I think, God, it's so interesting. Yeah, because I love that side of things now. Yeah. It just wasn't me then. So did various kind of admin jobs, and then went to be cabin crew, which I think was a game changer.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely loved it. So I've travelled the world, worked with different people every single day.
Wow.
So that's a challenge in itself. You've got a completely different team that you have to gel with. You might not have met any of them before, ever. And you've got to work, deliver a service, obviously take people where they're going and then bring them back. So I did end up being senior cabin crew and then went on to be performance manager.
Yeah.
So more on the ground. And
Was that a choice?
Just loved it. Pardon?
Was that a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was struggling with when I had Sienna, so 2 children. When I had my second, it was really difficult being on standby, having the early mornings, late nights, getting childcare. It was just a bit of a headache. So the ground job was better. And I think I always knew I would leave that role.
Yeah.
But being cabin crew, you're not really recognised in a lot of industries, even though it's such a challenging role. Like I would employ cabin crew tomorrow, anybody to do any role because they can basically do anything once you've done that job. But putting that across on a CV is really difficult. So having that performance management experience in the office, which was managing sickness, people's performance, disciplinaries, investigations, was really, really useful.
Yeah, I bet.
Loved it.
How interesting.
Loved it. So I did that for 10 years and then I thought, what now? Because I used to work at Birmingham and Leeds, needed to be back at home. So I went into education. Just by absolute chance. I saw a job for a trust initially and I got a job in their office, kind of doing office management roles. And it went from there, really. That suited me because of the school holidays.
Yeah.
Suited the family. Loved that. But again, really challenging role. Massively underpaid. School business management. Sienna had some health issues.
Yeah.
As you know, my daughter. So I had a career break to have time out with her. And that's when I just did a bit of dog walking, house organising. Yeah. I came here to organise the offices. And then after about a year and a half, once things had settled, I decided it was time to get back. I missed having my career, almost my identity.
I was going to say, was it a sense of purpose? Obviously, your children give you a sense of purpose, but you can't lose you in it, can you?
I loved it at first, but I hated not having my own money. I hated not being that person that I kind of knew, and I don't know. I loved being in that kind of role where you feel like you're making a change, you're helping people, you're organising systems. It's all. I've always been a bit of an organiser.
Yeah, we love that. That's the best bit about it.
So, yeah, and then we had the conversation. Here I am.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that defines you massively. I mean, you wear like a gazillion hats 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, you for all of, you know, what you do here, you go home and start again. I know most mums do.
Yeah.
But your role is a little bit different. You know, just tell everybody why your role as a mum is different because of Sienna's diagnosis.
So 2 children, obviously. The second one came along, amazing as she is. She had some health issues, which when you've got a full-time job and a career and you're managing everybody else's emotions at work, which is what you tend to do, you're then trying to juggle this kind of situation that you're not really sure what's going on because there was no diagnosis. Quite a few issues I've noticed were different to my first child. Raising them with friends, family, doctors, people were just kind of like, you know, she's fine.
Oh God,
she'll catch up in her own time. You know, she's small for her age. All these things start to make you doubt yourself. Plus, you're also exhausted, which most parents are, and I think everybody would say that you're just knackered all the time.
Yeah.
So having to also, what I found difficult was having to ring and chase and research while I had a full-time job. Because you know me, when I'm at work, it's work.
Absolutely.
I'm not ringing Mark, my husband. I'm not ringing the kids. I'm not doing anything else. I'm working. And then when I go home, that's when I can concentrate on family. But doctors are closed then, schools are shut. And then I'd almost get into this vicious cycle where work was becoming first priority.
Yeah.
And that's when I realised something had to change because that just wasn't okay.
No.
Had a really good manager at the time who let me kind of reduce my hours, but you know, without reducing the salary. So I managed to kind of get things going with my daughter. But we're 14 years in now, and it's still constant, but more manageable, if that makes sense.
Do you think it's because she's got older as well, or do you think now you understand it better? You've now got a diagnosis. Do you think because you were fighting for so long to understand what all of these different...
A mixture, really, because the other thing I've had to do is go home and learn and research. And as well as health issues, you've got the education system to battle with. Yeah. So you've got a bit of everything. And especially if you've got, you know, a new job, a new role, issues at work, you've got travelling, you've then got to contact a school because things aren't quite right there. They're not delivering what your child needs. They're not progressing the way they should do, but then you're also chasing numerous hospitals, numerous professionals, and it was all on me. So literally, where do you start? And I know that there's loads of parents out there like that, and I would love to just say, you know, I understand.
Yeah.
It is hard work.
I mean, I think so many parents, mums, dads, anyone doing it on their own, it's really lonely.
Yeah.
When for Sienna, because she had such an unusual set of health conditions that you couldn't get diagnosed, it must have been really frustrating because every time you hit a you hit a wall.
Well, she was signed off by one consultant, then another person signed her off for somebody else. But I was just convinced that no child could be so unlucky to have issues in all these areas without it being connected.
Absolutely.
And I just wasn't having it, basically.
I don't blame you.
But it took me years, and it took, because I didn't know what was going on. I'd never heard of Schwab-Diamond syndrome, which is what she was diagnosed with a couple of years ago. Nobody I've mentioned it to has ever heard of it. No. But there are so many other conditions out there that are unknown. And until somebody actually helps you and gives you a diagnosis, then you just kind of, almost fighting a losing battle. You are fighting a losing battle, and especially with the rare diseases, there does need to be more awareness of these rare conditions and more awakening. You know, we can't just say no. The system, like on that International Women's Day, she, you know, Janine said that you were medically gaslit everywhere you went. 100%. But the other, I would just want to say one thing. When I say I was on my own, it wasn't because I didn't have support, because I did. And my husband is amazing. He'll do everything in the house, but he kind of left that to me because I've got a bit more of a skill of kind of reading and kind of gathering information and going to challenge. You can't both be doing it all the time. Yeah, I get that. You kind of just fit into your roles naturally. Yeah. So that was fine. I've had lots of support from that respect. Yeah. I just meant the actual going into the schools, going into the hospitals, doing all the appointments whilst still trying to progress a career. Yeah. Because life is expensive. You know, we all want a holiday. We want a nice car, nice house. Yeah. Give your children the best. So it's a real, it's an impossible juggle. Yeah, it is an impossible juggle, but somehow you've managed it. Yeah. So it is impossible, but somehow you've done it. Tell me a bit about Liam and where he's at right now. So he is at the end of his A-levels. So he'll have those soon, and then he's off to university, which will kill me. Yeah. Because the thought of him not being at home is just horrendous. But I'm happy for him. Yeah. He's ready. He'll love it. He'll have the best experience. I think that might give you a mental freedom. Now, my mum just didn't, you know, I went off to university and that's the natural progression. But you've had such intensity for so long. I think that he will thrive because he's so resourcewul. And I will worry about him. Naturally, that's all right, and you're allowed to. But he will, you know, it will give you. You're not just going to have sleepless night after sleepless night because he's at university. No. You might do for the first month, but after that, you'll relax into it. Yeah. And he'll come home and you'll know he's all right and you'll go and see him and he'll just have a calm. And those nights where you don't have to pick him up, it'll give you a little bit of just, okay, now he's self-sufficient enough to go off. You get a bit more of you time back. A little bit. Not that you want to embrace that, but you will do. You'll learn to. Yeah. And I think that'll be good for you and Mark. So, okay, we've done the family to a degree, and you do it with such fucking poise and grace. Like you do. I don't know how you do it. You're so
beautifully like calm, elegant, intimidatingly so to some, not to me. Because I think you're just you, aren't you? But
Yeah.
joking. No, you are. I think a lot of people find you intimidating because of how accomplished you are in every area. You're tall, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're funny. It's like, what can't this girl do? And obviously I met my match. No.
Apart from the tallness.
I'm only joking about the tall. I'm kidding. The reason I wanted you on here is because people have got to see behind the scenes a bit. And I think that's what they love. But nobody gets to see you, the you that I see. And I just need to talk to the world about that. In terms of leadership, and one of the things that I admire about you is your ability to like stay completely calm when everything else is like... How do you, is this something that you've taught yourself? Because I know that when we met, and I think lots of people think that there's, you can't be a powerful leader and be into Reiki. I'm very, very spiritual, hate that word, wooey and all that. How can you do that and be a leader? In fact, that's taught me to be the best kind, to go inward, do the work, do the growth, do the healing. You did, when we first met, maybe it was you opened this world to me, but when you did Reiki, I was a bit like, you do Reiki? What? It was a bit of dry jarring because it's not how you presented. But that was a misconception of mine. And I've grown up, I can't judge any book by its cover. That's what that teaches me in that room 24/7. But you did it, and I remember you said you did a tree hug once. Anyway, when I did it, I loved it. Really random. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So how do you do that? How do you marry that side of you?
So one of my friends who I've known since kind of mid-20s has been a real influence. And, there've been periods of time where I've not seen her and, we were close and then we kind of weren't as close. Now she's had children. We kind of come back together a bit. And I did work for her for a period of time. And there's nothing she won't do.
Really?
She's gone off, done an Ironman, learn how to train that, and then, I'll be a coach. And then, I'll teach people how to, ride bikes.
Yeah.
She went on singing lessons and learned how to sing. There's nothing. And she was a real inspiration because I thought, well, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
Of course you can do it.
Yeah.
And she said to me ages ago, you can do any job. I'm like, can I?
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
And I've always kind of put her on a bit of a pedestal as well. And then it's strange, like when you talk about me, it's strange to think that that's how I'm viewed because I just don't see it. I see it more now because you tell me a lot, which is very nice. And a lot of my friends who have seen what I've done for Sienna and how I've managed that and just life in general do give like such lovely feedback. And I think that helps. But that's why I just think, well, why can't you do it? And having a child that struggles with things and, maybe can't do all the activities that the other children can do, can't do the, what I would say is the usual stuff. I just try and say to them, well, why can't you do it? We'll find a way. We will find a solution for you to be able to do that like everybody else.
With the Reiki side, why did that make sense?
The Reiki started to help Sienna.
Right.
So before a diagnosis, I was looking at all sorts of treatments. So I started to go down the holistic route.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was having a career break at the time. So I just thought, I'll do a course. See if it will help to heal her because of all her anxieties, I just thought that's got to be having a negative impact on her body because of all the like adrenaline going around all the time. She was constantly in the fight or flight. As it happens, she absolutely hated it and just wouldn't sit there. I think went through all this. I did one session. She was like, oh no, I don't like it.
Oh.
Now, it has helped at times when she's had bits of pain. We've just kind of done an instant, let me just hold your knee, especially during operations when she's trying to heal. And I don't know if it brings a calmness. I'm not really sure what she gets out of it. But she didn't like the full like Reiki treatment lying there. Just felt, I think because she could feel the energy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
She just didn't like it because she's very sensory.
Yeah, she is.
It was too much for her.
Yeah.
And she'd get bored.
Wow. What did it bring to you?
Calmness, a bit of a fascination about the science of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
How everything's linked.
Yeah.
Teaching how to meditate, which I'd never done before.
Yeah.
Also, I had loads of lovely friends that let me practice on them. So it was amazing to hear that they'd felt something.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of clients. One of them actually had a really kind of good health benefit from it. They used to come regularly, which was lovely. So yeah, it was amazing.
That's crazy. And I you know what I think of all that. I think it's phenomenal, fascinating, interesting.
I don't do it anymore though, on other people.
No, I know you
because
don't.
It takes a lot. I just don't know how you can do that alongside other things, because it takes a lot of preparation, like mind and body, for you to give that other person everything that they need.
But don't you think it'd be a real nice mix of what you do even now?
I haven't got the time.
I haven't got the time.
No.
Would you not prioritise the time?
It's having the space, preparation. I found in order for people to get the most out of it, you've got to have a really quiet, protected, cleansed environment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of prep goes into that.
Okay.
So for these people that do it all the time, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's not just
it takes a lot out of you.
Get in the room, hands on.
No,
it's
anyone can do that, and you could charge somebody for it, and tell them that what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
But I just don't believe it.
No, I totally. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fascinating, and I just love it. This word, the ice cream, comes up quite a bit because you said it to me, and I was a bit like, "What do you mean?" But I kind of know what you mean.
Of course you do.
But I think because you've been labelled, or you've said this to me before, I get, where do you think that's come from?
That's come from my husband.
Why?
Yeah. Well, I know why.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned to you before.
You have.
If you are unkind to me in any way, shape or form, and it's not warranted, then I'm just not interested.
Yeah.
I'll just shut down. Yeah. If you're open and you're kind to me and, we have a kind of rapport, then you will get the absolute best version of me. And I read something recently that said, some people will say I'm a bitch and some people say I'm the best person ever.
Yeah.
Both are right because they get the version they deserve, I think it said.
Yeah, that's great.
And I thought it's so true.
So true. So true. Well, I think lots of people that are guilty of people pleasing.
I was just about to say I'm not a people pleaser.
No.
But I think that's because I feel assured in myself. I know I'm a good person. I don't need to please anybody except me.
Well, I think that takes a lot of time for some people to get to that place.
Yeah.
And that self-assurity. And I think that you've got to really balance ego with not too much self-assurity, enough of it. I've been guilty of people pleasing. I'm definitely a continued work in progress.
Yeah.
And understanding what tips the balance of self-assured and not too self-assured, and don't be too much and don't be too little. And I find all that really difficult to juggle, and it used to consume me. But I don't have anybody that I look up to, but when I find somebody I look up to, I look up to you. I have somebody that I can see. It's almost like, that's who I want to be when I grow up.
But you were surrounded, unfortunately, by somebody that questioned almost who you were and your worth. I've not had that.
No.
I've got an amazing husband who puts me on a pedestal every day, even though he calls me the ice queen. He's very self-assured.
Yeah.
And that's probably the foundation, to be honest.
Amazing.
Apart from my dad when I was little, and I think it was an issue at school where I've been left out, and he just said, always be happy in your own company. And I've just never forgotten it. And I genuinely am.
Yeah.
Everyone can go to a party and I could be the only one that's not invited, and it wouldn't bother me at all.
Okay.
I don't need to be included in everything. And I quite like to be on my own.
That's an
Probably
amazing
a bit too
place.
much.
No, but I think a lot of women would find that tricky. So it will be difficult for women that don't feel like that to think, I'd love to feel like that. I'd love to feel like that. I'm certainly there.
Yeah.
I don't need to do or be or everything, be anybody to, I don't like everybody, they shouldn't like me. You know, Laura and I spoke about that before. She's like, I've realised I don't like everybody.
No.
So I don't want everybody to like me either. And that's the people pleasing.
But it's normal. It's normal to talk about people. It's normal to have issues, to go home and talk about your work and, you know, somebody got on my nerves. If we weren't doing that, that's when there's an issue.
Yeah, very
you
true.
have to go and talk about people in your day.
Yeah.
And the sooner you realise that people will talk about you and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I found about leadership and moving into a different space. I'm happy. I'm totally happy.
Yeah.
You know, all the decisions I've made, I'm happy and settled. And I want to thank you for being a part of that as well. So some of the ways that you hold boundaries and that you move through the business and that sort of epitomise you. Do you think that allows you to be the best version of you to Sienna, to Mark as a leader? Like, is the bits of what you do that you take from each bit that make you better at each part of you, each facet of you? Because when I do my mindset shit stuff, love it. I find all of that really fascinating.
Yeah.
Like we delve really deep, and you're so calm and collected and cool. How, like, it feels like you've got all your shit together all of the time. Have you or have you not?
Not sure how I answer this.
I know, yeah.
It's my boss.
This is a free reign. This is a free reign.
Not always. What I'm really good at, and a skill I've developed over years, is delegating and learning that you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I found working with so many different people, most people find it really hard to ask for help.
Yeah.
Or give over a part of their role.
Yes.
They'd rather struggle and you know, get behind because they don't want to seem like they can't manage.
Yeah.
And that's just not good time management. It's not good management of yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to share the load.
Yeah.
Which I think I do well now.
Yeah.
So most of the time I've got my shit together.
Yeah.
There are days, of course, where I think, oh God, you know, I've not done that.
Yeah.
And there are so many different parts to my role, as you know, that you can get really engrossed in one part and miss a bit. But that's why I like my days working from home.
Yeah.
Because I'll sit and I'll go through my emails, I'll go through projects, I'll have a look and I'll think, where am I up to? What have I not done? What am I behind on? I'm really good at prioritising. I look forward over the next few weeks and I think, right, well, that needs to be done. This needs to be done. And I will share it out with the team. Since we've moved to the new offices, we're having Monday meetings and we just regroup every week, make sure we're on track.
Love that.
To meet your KPIs.
Love that.
So, yeah, and we've got a really good team.
Yeah, we have got a really good team.
But we've done that together.
Yeah.
Because it was tricky at first.
Very difficult.
But we've managed to get everybody together and they are all amazing.
On board.
Yeah.
Working towards the same
goal. And that's really important.
It's huge.
But it's also important that they respect you as a leader.
Yeah.
Which we've worked really hard to earn that, I think.
Are we there yet?
100%.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I doubt it sometimes.
Nailed it.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're definitely where we want to be right now. I think there's always work. You know, I will never be, I've never settled.
No.
There's always work to be done.
Yeah.
There's always stuff to do. And I you know, but that's cool. So moving on from that then, we've talked a little bit about Sienna and a little bit about your life at home. Sienna's incredibly resilient. She showed that in spades after she had her operation.
Yeah.
We talk about her in the office whenever we see her and whenever she comes in, because we've seen a massive shift in confidence, resilience.
Yeah.
She believes herself where she didn't before as much. Why do you think that is?
Because I continuously work on her confidence, give her advice. And I try and encourage her to handle her own problems.
Okay.
Because she tells me everything. I know what every teacher says, what they've done, what they shouldn't have done.
Brilliant.
And I don't always raise it, but when I feel I need to, I do. Otherwise, I will explain to Sienna why people behave the way they do.
Yeah.
Why some of the children might be cruel to her at school. They might have difficult home lives. I'll try and put a different perspective on things rather than just saying, oh, tell them to get lost. Or
Yeah.
I try and get her to look at it from an outside person. And she really does. She really takes that on board because of her emotional intelligence. And then sometimes I'll just say, just brush it off.
Yeah.
But it's normal. It's part of life.
Yeah.
And you just have to be able to deal with that. And recently she'd been feeling a bit left out at school. And she goes almost like a bit inside herself.
Yeah.
And I said, you've got to push yourself forward. Just join the conversation. Don't wait to be asked. Just go up to people. And she started to do it. And she came home and she went, I did what you said today. I said, and how was it? She was like, it was great. I had a great day. I was like, see, you can do it.
Oh.
And then since that, so it's continuous work, but she absorbs everything that I say, which is amazing.
That is amazing.
She listens to me.
She is a mini you, though.
She's one of the people that do.
She's one of the only people that do. Everybody listens to Louise.
Literally.
I've got a fucking choice. Anyway. So, no, that is testament to you. Given that then, you must have days where you feel like you are vulnerable, you can't do it. You would never think that. But do you genuinely have days where you think, oh God, I'm not sure. I'm vulnerable? Never.
Not really.
Do you not? Do you think that's normal?
No, probably not.
Get deep now, but...
I'm going to be honest.
Do it.
I think a lot of it comes from you, from the support that you give me,
Okay.
the trust that you have in me.
Oh, cool.
I never feel like I'm being questioned on on who I am and my role. So thank you. That it does, honestly. It comes from you. It comes from assurance I've got at home.
Yeah.
I've got another best friend who I ring every day on the way to work. So we might get out our frustrations or minor details and we just chat.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really good tool because lots of people don't talk on the phone anymore.
Very true.
It's texting here and it's just not the same.
No, I agree.
Text can be misread.
Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I've got, great family. And the team pretty much manage themselves.
Yeah.
They're all invested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we guide and lead, but generally everybody really cares and
100%.
and roots for you and the business.
Oh God, that's amazing to hear.
Which makes it easier.
It does make it a lot easier, and I think that's a really nice way to tell people that are listening that you can do it all. Just have to take these moments.
You can, but you've got to know how. And just learn and know what works for you and just reach out to your mates if you need to.
It's so true.
And one thing I do though
is
sometimes I'll go to bed really early.
Oh, will you?
Because I feel like I'm pretty much always on form for work.
Yeah.
But if I will get home and I'll be exhausted. And I don't know if that's because I've just managed this calmness all day. I don't know. But it can get to 8 o'clock and I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm done.
So I don't probably do as many jobs as I should in the house. But you can't do everything.
No. But if you've got an agreement with your partner that that's how it goes.
And I don't cook.
You don't cook,
and I don't shop.
I mean
which a lot of my friends, find really hard to believe. But that was one thing that I used to struggle with working, and that's one thing that Mark just took off me.
Yeah.
So he does all the shopping and all the cooking.
And his own full-time job.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And at the weekend, he'll come back from football, he'll say, have you had lunch? I'm like, no. What are you making? And he laughs.
Yeah.
Because he just takes it all in his stride.
Oh, bless him.
And he brings me a coffee in the morning.
You have got a pretty unique situation.
Yeah. But we've worked at it. It's not all been, smooth sailing, but I think you've got to just not give up and just keep going and find out what works for you. Work, home, everywhere.
Love that. And that's 100%. And that, you know what, what do I say, Sam? I've got this list of questions. We answer them before they're even answered. You just naturally go through the next level. And I don't know if it's because I'm well aware of what we're talking about, but it's the holistic part of you just comes out naturally. And that was the next thing. Well, I think you've just, textbook said to anybody listening that you can do it, you can have it.
Yeah.
And you've got the best relationship with Mark, and I think that's incredible. And you've been really vulnerable with who you are. One of the things that gets us through the day is how much we trust each other, how much we laugh. Everything is very professional, but hilarious.
But it can be.
At the same time. But we manage it really, really well.
Yeah.
I think one of the benefits of our relationship is that we don't take everything too seriously, but we know we've got a job to do. And I take my role extremely seriously.
Yeah.
But I think given our personalities, it's important that to keep us grounded, we don't take life too... Those that take themselves absolutely seriously seem to come unstuck.
But they're the people I've found that are unsure of themselves.
Yeah.
You've got to be assured in who you are. If you are leading a team, you won't get the best out of your team if you're like that.
I agree.
They want to be able to have a laugh. They also know there's a boundary, but they know you're a human and that you're there to help.
Yeah.
But actually you expect them to do a job.
Absolutely.
But they will, if you treat them properly and they feel like they're being led, they will just get on with the job. Yeah,
100%. I agree with you. I think this is what makes our relationship stronger, the ability to just hold that little space for humour and laughter between us, because I don't think we do it. We've had such a lot happen, heaviness along the business, the meetings that we've had, the times you and I have looked at each other and like questioned one another.
Yeah.
You know? But that's just testament to any relationship.
But I said to you, it's normal.
Yeah.
And through the changes of the business, I said, there will be times where we disagree.
Yeah.
And we will question each other. We don't as much now.
No, I don't think we understand each other more.
But there was a period of time where you probably thought, you know, what's she talking about? And I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
But you would make me talk about it.
Absolutely.
I would be like, I'm fine.
In fact, not talking about it.
And I do that at home, and you do what Mark does, push me to tell you how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then once it's all out and everybody says the piece, then we move on.
Love it.
And you have to.
And
you can't. Yeah.
You can't. I'm like that in every area.
But again, it's normal. We're humans. We have emotions. We have feelings.
Yeah.
You know, just thrash it out and
move on. Yeah. Some people, though, just really struggle and hold it and cannot move forward.
Yeah.
It says more about them, I think.
Well, it does, yeah.
Okay, so you were doing a lot, you stay grounded. You know, you sometimes have a meditation at work and you sort of practice these things, and you've said it's important to go to the gym and do you believe that we should introduce a more well-being program at work? Because you do literally in the middle of your day, you've been known to get in your car, have a meditation. I don't know how you do it. You switch off, have a 10-minute meditation, but you can do it. But you're quite disciplined like that. Do you think that everybody should be doing that? To stay grounded and connected.
But it's also for health that you can sit at your desk for 8 hours. You can eat at your desk. But then you go home and you are exhausted.
Yeah.
And you will start to have issues with your back, your knees as you get older, because it's just not healthy. You've got to be up and moving around. You shouldn't eat at your desk. I've been, guilty of it. 100%.
Yeah.
But I think that's why you have to lead by example.
Yeah.
You have to be seen to do it, to make everybody know that it's okay and you can do that. Because a lot of employers will just let you sit there and eat there and let you work through your lunch and stay late. Whereas I just don't think that's healthy. You've got to have a good work-home life balance in order to be the best version you can at work.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I fully appreciate that. I can see it. Given that then, what would you say to women that were really struggling? Would you say move jobs, get out, do more self-care? What would you say to women that were just like at a crossroads, struggling? Where do they go next?
I would say look at home first.
Yeah.
Have you got the support you need? Because if you haven't got that support in your partner or in your close friends or in your family, you need to find it, or, reach out for some kind of helpline. I don't know, whatever help is available. Then you can start to look at your work, your job. But it's got to start at home. And you know that more than anybody.
Absolutely. You do. That's where the changes have been.
Yeah.
Being able to be free, to move out, very, very difficult divorce.
But I saw that from day one when I came here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were struggling to make that move.
Yeah, 100%.
For various reasons.
Yeah.
But I knew the minute you got out of there, it would just be a
different
completely
story. Different story. And that's what with the Mindset Coach we're working on, bringing this authentic story, like not trying to hide behind it, saying it didn't happen, owning it.
Yeah.
Not naming and shaming anybody, but This was my version. This is my version of reality.
Yeah.
This is what happened, and things are different. And you know, thank you to you for being able to see it and do it. But growing up then, do you think that before even starting a role, your life, you'd got a plan? Do you think you always thought this secure when you were younger that took you through this path?
No.
No. Do you feel like that's something that's developed in you?
Yeah,
with the
definitely.
experiences that you've had?
Yeah.
Because some people say, oh, it's always this way and I'm that way, or I've always been shy, or they go the opposite.
I think you change constantly, and it can be your current partner.
Yeah.
I think people change every time they go to a new job.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not majorly. You still have, elements of you, but you adapt to every situation. You change when you've got children.
Yeah.
When you get a lifetime partner, get married, whatever. I think you change all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's okay.
I think it's good.
You don't have to be the same.
No, completely agree with you.
Evolve, that's just human nature.
Absolutely. And people are stuck. People feel stuck.
Yeah.
Struggle.
Yeah. Some people stay in the same. I worked in a school, and some people had been to school there, then gone to work there, and they were kind of in the 50s. Oh. They'd never experienced life outside of that environment, but you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell in their behaviours and the way they are. And I just think, wow.
Yeah, it's comfortability, isn't it?
But they're happy. Or
yeah.
they're happy. They think they're happy. I don't know.
They appear it.
It might suit them, which is absolutely fine. But no, it's not for me.
No, I agree. We're constantly moving. We've already talked about a lot of this because, what do you hope from Sienna? What do you hope Sienna learns from watching you? What does it mean for you to be a woman today? You don't need to answer this because you've answered it. You are the epitome of a modern day woman. I think you, without saying it, you say a lot.
Okay.
Do you know? I think it's just that like quiet power that you've got. I've learned to kind of like not always speak. You don't need to speak to be heard. It's even sometimes it's more powerful to say nothing. Yeah. So going forward, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Ooh.
Tricky one.
Hopefully in the same position.
Yeah.
I would like us to have achieved everything that is in your head. Well, if I know it all. There'll be something else next week. Just with a bigger team. Maybe slightly more out of the day-to-day that I am now.
Agree.
In my house with my extension.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little camper van.
Yeah.
Pretty much where I am.
Yeah.
10 years time, retired.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
More freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or part retired, not sure yet.
Oh, what? Part retired?
Partly retired,
yeah. I think, you say we'd struggle. I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't. Maybe we'd ladies.
It depends where you are, doesn't it?
I think if you'd had like 2 or 3 days a week off, you could fill it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But it is our purpose. It's our drive. We're on a mission.
We're on a mission and we're not giving up.
Nothing is stopping
until we hit it.
Absolutely. A closing moment then, when everything's stripped back and you are sat at home in your gym jams.
Yeah, as soon as I get in.
As soon as you get in.
Literally get changed, which I think most people do.
You've said to me that you settled, but who are you at your absolute core? Calm, collected, cool. I've given you all of those words. Is that who you see yourself as or not?
I think I do now. And I'm not saying that thinking, oh, look at me. It's just, like I said, I've managed to get, my home life is really, I am very lucky. I know that. It's very calm. People will say that when they come around to my house. It's a calm environment and that's how I like it. That's why I like clean desk policies.
Yeah.
I find lots of stuff around me, it just creates noise. I'm not saying, I am naturally untidy, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a naturally tidy person. I'm a crap housewife. Genuinely. Don't cook. There's a lot of things that I can't do, but I own it.
Yeah.
I don't try and be everything because I just can't. But when I'm at home, I like to have my comfy clothes on. I like to watch Netflix with Mark. I love my bedroom. I love my cats. I like to be on my own a lot.
I love that.
And I love shopping. That's what Sienna and I do a lot. Nighttime shopping.
Oh, I love that. That's so
We
nice.
go out for half an hour and spend, 200 quid.
Yeah, I love that. That is so nice and so calming to hear.
I don't go out a lot. I'm not really fussed about, girls' nights out, girls' trips.
No, same.
I like to be at home.
Yeah, I'm a real home bird. I know I do a lot, but I got to come back to home.
Yeah.
Because it really settles me.
Yeah.
I feel much more like at ease
I do.
with myself. So I hear that, and maybe that's a real like parity that we've got without even realising it.
And I look nothing like this at home.
You look, do not?
No.
Hair up, pineapple.
Yeah. Literally the homeless look.
But
I love it.
Yeah, but and then look at you at work. It's a real like switch between the two. I think that's mega.
I think that comes from cabin crew. You're putting your work clothes on and your face is almost like your armour. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
If I was sat here looking like I do at home, you'd have a different version of me then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel as confident.
Well, it's funny actually. We were talking about the other business that we're doing, like in a couple of podcasts today. We were talking about the makeup look.
Yeah.
When you take your makeup off, and we always say this, don't look at me, I have no makeup on. Do you look at yourself with no makeup on and think, do you recognise yourself with no makeup on?
No.
I don't either. And I think that's really...
Especially now I've started to age.
Yeah. It's really shit and really sad that we don't.
I know.
But I don't. I look completely different. And it's
eyelashes are the main thing.
You what?
Eyelashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
And I used to think, oh God, how could she go out with no makeup on?
Yeah.
Why has she not painted her toenails?
Yeah.
And now I think, you go, girl.
Yeah.
I do.
Very
I think
true.
good for you. And I that's one bit I'm not confident in. I wouldn't, like Mark will say, we go to the shop and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not going out. I've got no makeup on.
Yeah.
I see anyone, I would die.
Yeah. So would I.
Which is bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
But we've got to get out of this. But I'm not gonna get out of it anytime
No,
soon because I actually enjoy putting it on.
Well, I do, and I like when I put it on. I feel more confident.
I do. But
I'm in two minds. Sometimes I think, is it a bad thing? Is it not? Well, if it makes you feel good, do it.
I agree. That's the industry that we're in, right?
Aesthetic is everywhere.
Yeah.
You want your house to look nice. You want your car to look nice. Why don't you want your face to look nice? Mm-hmm. If that's what you want to do it.
Are you worried that Sienna will see that and you are giving her this view of a woman that needs to look good with that face on? Or
I used to worry about that. She won't go out without her eyelashes on, but she doesn't wear foundation because she doesn't like the feel of it.
Yeah.
She's getting better, I think.
Watch this space. Things are moving. So after we do the podcast, like this is literally something that Sam and I talked about initially was that we have a look at what people say on Reddit based on some of the topics that we've talked about. I think these are really interesting what people have said. So I'm going to read a few to you and give me your thoughts on some of these. Is setting boundaries the same as being cold? Oh, I don't think so. Can you be a strong leader and still be soft?
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a career, motherhood and identity? How do working mums hold everything together? How do you stay calm when everything around you is in chaos? Why do we feel guilty for putting boundaries in place? I think these are really, really interesting things that people are asking Reddit.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what the world is saying and we're able to talk about it, I think that's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Do you think it's unbelievable that people are typing this in and wanting an answer to it because they don't feel that they are getting that from anywhere else?
You don't know if they've had that said to them from somebody else.
Absolutely.
And it'll start to question them.
Yeah.
And this is what's really important. You've got to surround yourself with the right people.
With good people.
And this is what, hopefully you've got now.
Absolutely.
Because some people are, the people pleasers in us will draw in those narcissistic
I agree.
Personality
types, yeah.
And then once you surround yourself with people like that, you get a bit stuck. You'll start to doubt yourself.
100%.
You've got to just make sure that you surround yourself with good people.
Massively. Well, I have a good Jamie now, so I can
we
do
know?
that. Everybody knows about Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie.
Shout out to Jamie, babes. Love you.
Thank God. She's much nicer.
I've got a much nicer human, I must say. But thank you for taking the time to sit with me. What do you think of it? Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I think it's what I expected. I feel a bit less like roboty,
Yeah.
like I was on the first
Yeah,
one.
100%.
But these kind of things really push me out of my comfort zone. Because although you say I'm, cool and calm, to stand up and present to a room or to train like you, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. We know our strengths, right?
We know our strengths, but I know what I'm good at now and what I'm not, and I don't try and do what I'm not.
Yeah, great.
I'll give it to somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. I could completely agree. You hold space for me. I hope you feel I hold space for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my right-hand woman. I can't wait to see what we've got in the future.
Neither can I.
Unbelievable.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for pushing yourself out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get much choice.
Let's do this again. This is true.
It's like you are doing
it.
Okay, boss.
But no, we'll do a part 2.
Yeah.
We've got more to say as well about everything.
Definitely.
But thanks, babe.
Thanks.
Everybody, Louise. Woo! That's it for today's Barefaced Chat. Thank you so much for listening. If you've loved this conversation, make sure you follow, rate, and share. It really helps more people find us and join the conversation. I'll be back next week with another honest, unfiltered chat. Because skin isn't just skin. It's your story, and I'm here for it.